Well, folks, coming up on the evening of May 7th will be another opportunity to celebrate the Hall of Fame of the Shelton School District. I'm Jeff Slakey here at the high school, and I'm talking with Madison, Gwen, Matt, Josephine, and Mr. Lewis about this night that's coming up here. Richard, let's start with you. This goes back a couple years. 2018 was the first time we started talking about this on KMAS. And how did it all kind of get to going?
So I believe that our superintendent, Dr. Apostle at the time, had a Hall of Fame when he was a superintendent in Montana. And also I want to say Tacoma. I believe he worked in Tacoma too. And also so we started that in the Shelton School District. And we had an initial class of 25 great athletes in the history of Shelton High School and in Shelton who were selected by a previous committee. I believe it was a Rotary committee, by a previous committee, and so we, rather than select new people for the first class, we just grandfathered them in and said this will be the first class of Hall of Fame. And there was 25 of them, and and Coach Stark was in there. He was one of the non-athletes so in this class. So there was just a lot of all the athletes that had done great things at Shelton High School. A lot of football players, baseball players, basketball players, and so that was the first class. Then, just a quick overview of the history, then in 2021, rather than having an incoming Hall of Fame, we did the naming of the court after Mr. Gregg, Coach Gregg. I believe KMS was that, or you guys covered that event. So we did that during 2021. And then in 2022, we had a class of 6 people that were welcomed into the Hall of Fame. And we spread out from just athletics to people who had impacted the school district in other ways. So for example, Jamie Dobson, who was a big influence here at Shelton High School, who had passed away, she was one of the other inductees. And there were some teachers also. Miss Nelson, who was an important teacher here at Shelton High School, was also someone. I wish I had the list in front of me. I get nervous on the radio, but we started to add teachers. And now, sort of like what's the story the kids read about the caterpillar who becomes what does the caterpillar become? What is that one? It becomes like a butterfly, right?
I was going to say moth, but you may be right.
The moth becomes, so we're sort of creating another creation of our Hall of Fame in 2020, focusing on coaches and teachers. So if you look at the 6 that are here this year, they're all coaches and people who have been sort of in the background of all this great athletic achievement.
Very nice. Madison, how are you and your fellow classmates involved in this?
We are writing and doing the inductee speeches at the ceremony itself.
Now, did the 4 of you nominate coaches and teachers, or are you part of a committee that chose these 6 individuals, or how did it start?
No, so we were chosen by teachers, so like Senior Lewis and Mrs. Stiegel, to write the speeches and then perform them or present them in front of the audience at the actual ceremony. So we were chosen to learn about them, write, our long speeches about just their helping and their involvement in the Shelton School District throughout the years.
That's a big deal. It's a big deal to get up there and do that for these folks. Who are the 6? Do we have the names of the 6? And then let's see who y'all are going to be introducing.
So Matt is going to be talking about Brian Fairbrother.
Okay.
Thank you. Gwenny is going to be talking about Dan Gagnon.
Oh, yeah.
And Josephine is going to be talking about Leslie Orm. And Maddie is going to talk about Mr. Wentz. And a student who is not here, am I saying her name, Felici Tausa?
Felicity,
thank you, is talking about Cheryl Balding. And also Scott Jordan is going to be talking about Mike Fox. So 6 students of Miss Stiegel are preparing, doing the research. This was Mr. Kipper's idea, that a great way to honor them is have the students discover and research and find out about them. A school project, Miss Stiegel's project.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can tell you, Dan Gagnon is a master oyster eating.
Oh.
I'll put that in there. He won one of the KMAS oyster eating contests. And his father is a world champion oyster eater.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no,
get that in the speech.
Make sure you add that in there somehow. Matt, what was it like, and what's it been like learning about these folks, doing the research? Because this is like, you're not going to be able to go to the library really. You have to call people or email people and find out about them.
I've been really the research has been fun. Being an athlete, having to learn more about Brian Fairbrother and what he did as a coach, the fact that he started the soccer program at Shelton, it's impressive. And the dedication, the countless hours that he spent, making the program what it is.
Yeah.
And the tradition that he had, consistently going to the playoffs and winning league, especially in the 90s. I mean, it's impressive, and it's been fun to learn about.
I was just talking to some folks actually who played soccer in Shelton in the 90s, and it was at another event, and Casey Keller was there, who was a North Thurston soccer guy, and one of the guys I was talking to said, I think we beat him that one game, and Casey they were going back and forth pretty good. Josephine, tell me about kind of your process too, about how this has been, learning about these folks, and then getting ready to present this on the 7th.
It's very interesting, and it's also amazing to learn about how impactful that these teachers, well, especially my teacher was, on not just her students, but on her staff members, her colleagues, and her friends, and how what she taught the teachers we have now, they still use to this day, and just continue her traditions.
That's a pretty cool thing. So it's May 7th, it's in the evening, it's here on campus at the Performing Arts Center.
Yes.
What's the program going to be like? Give us a little rundown.
Sure, so I can tell you that we're going to have a welcome from our superintendent and myself and also the school board. Then we're going to dive right into slideshows and the student presentations of each of these people. We know that the families are going to be there, and to all you communities out there, community members out there listening, we hope to see you there, and we think that we did this format 2 years ago. Ms. Stiegel's students spoke about the inductees in our class of 2022, and we just got a great feedback involving the students, and so we're hoping that our magic will work again in 2024, and so we hope a lot of people will be there.
That's awesome.
We hope to see you there.
We'll continue to promote that as we get closer and closer. May 7th here at the high school. Madison, Gwen, Matt, Josephine, thank you so much for some time talking about this. It's a pretty cool deal, and pretty cool that you guys got asked to go up and do that too. So awesome.
Yeah.
Richard, it's always good seeing you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everything you do supporting the Shelton School District. Communication is the key, and getting the message out, and thank you for being a part of supporting the Shelton School District. Maybe one of these days we'll get you in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, all right. We'll see about that.
All righty. Thank you very much for coming up to the high school, too.
Thank you.